If you want to become a certified hand therapist, let me help you. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And over 5 years now, I've been helping therapists study and feel confident about taking the exam and, of course, passing, because that's important, right? So I'm going to share with you some ways in which you can study so you're not feeling overwhelmed or feeling burnt out. Now, when it comes to feeling overwhelmed, that feeling of overwhelm can stop you from even starting, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm looking at the rehab of the hand and it's so dry, it's so thick, I can't even get through chapter 1. I got you, it's okay. But feeling burnt out is like a whole nother feeling. It's like you feel like you can't keep going. You're starting, you're stopping, you're starting, you're stopping. So both of them don't get you to your exam date. One stops you from starting, burnt out stops you from continuing. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I've been sharing with my students for years now to help them, get to that exam date. Now, there's 3 things I'm going to cover on this video, right? Number 1, in terms of how to study for the hand therapy exam so that you're not feeling overwhelmed or you're not feeling burnt out. Number 1 is really think about how you can get organized. And there's a lot of different ways in which you can get organized. One of the ways in which to get organized is really, you got to have the right books, and then you have to have the right resources. So one of my top things that I preach, I will stand on that soapbox and say it over and over again, and that is that you want to use up-to-date resources. I mean, I've had students tell me like, oh, I use like books for an OT school. That shit's not good. First of all, it's not detailed enough for the hand therapy. Plus, it's probably dated, right? So, really think about getting up-to-date books. If you are studying out of Rehab of the Hand, which is the books that I recommend. I mean, I don't recommend those books. Hand Therapy Commission people recommend those books, right? So it's Rehab of the Hand's like the gold standard of books that you can like study from, learn from, and things like that. It's just a really hard freaking read. Like, here they are. My books are worn out because I use them so much. I don't think anyone studies these books more than I study these books, honestly. But they have the 7th edition. So as you're watching, this has been in play for the last, I want to say 3 years. The 7th edition. So if you're getting books, like get the 7th edition. Don't be cheap, trying to buy like really old resources, or oh well, my hospital has old resources, or the idea that nothing changes. Things have changed. I mean, anatomy doesn't change, anatomy hasn't changed, but protocols change, surgeries change, perspectives of how to treat have changed. And so I think it's really important, if you're going to study, like get your shit organized and get the right books. There's different books too. One is like the resources to read through so you can learn, and then the other one is practice book, practice questions and stuff like that. And I am so excited to announce that I have a new book coming out. Let me see if I can show you. I don't have the cover. I mean, I don't have like the actual book in hand, but soon I will have it. And it is called, here's what it looks like. Let me see if I can show you. The Hand Therapy Exam Success, the Ultimate Book of Practice Questions. Well, this is a mock-up. So anyway, it's almost ready. So it's going to have hundreds of practice questions in there. But get yourself a practice question. It's book or resource or anything like that. It doesn't have to be mine, but I hope it will be, because some good shit in there. But yes, it's important to go through practice questions. At least I think it's important to go through practice questions. So get organized with your resources. You can get organized with your time. There's so many tips like that I can share with you as well. But number two is decide on your timeline. Hello, people. There is a theory of constraint. I didn't make this up. This happens on the daily. But when you put a constraint on yourself, like you said, draw a line in the sand, when am I going to take this exam? Then you will work towards that goal. If you're like, I'm just going to study and I'll get it there when I get there, you're never going to get there because there's no force that is driving you to that particular date, right? So pick a date. Decide on your timeline. First and foremost, when are you eligible, right? So if you've got double-digit years of experience, if you got more than 3 years of experience, like, you're eligible. If you have more than 4,000 hours, or you will have those 3 years and 4,000 hours. So by the time you pick whatever test date you are going for, then you can work backwards from it, but you can pick a date. So sometimes people come in, they ask me, hey Huang, I graduated next time. By the time I hit that, November date, let's say, I will have had my years, I will have my hours, when is the best time for me to get started to study? Well, if you hit those at that time, then reverse engineer yourself to studying 9 to 12 months before, depending on how much time you have. Now, sometimes people can study within 6 months. It's just a lot of material in a short period of time. Is it doable? Absolutely. Are you committed? That's your question to answer. So, there's a lot of different ways in which to think about it. But if you have, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years of experience, you probably have the years and the hours. Like, come on. Now you just have to determine how committed are you to getting to your exam date. So, number 1, get organized, right? Number 2, decide on that timeline. And number 3, on how you can study to feel really confident to pass without the overwhelm, without the burnt out, is come join my free masterclass. I'm going to share even more tips just like this so I can help you see what is possible for you in terms of studying to become a certified hand therapist. There's more in terms of tips. There's more that I'm going to share in terms of timeline, in terms of the structure, I have a cadence of studying, and I also have a curriculum of topics, which I think is really important in terms of how you study, so then you're not starting with some of the hardest things. So if you come and join me on my free masterclass, it's called How to Pass the CHT Exam with Confidence, right? If you join me, I'm going to include the link below. If you join me, I'm going to share with you more tips, more strategies in order to study so that you can pass. And also, I'm going to share with you more of my book. We're gonna dive into some of those tips that are straight from my book, and we'll go through some practice questions and see where you're at. All right. So I'm going to include the link below and sign up. I hope to see you there.